Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Recently, I broke my #1 rule in troubleshooting, and it cost me. Luckily in this case, it cost me time rather than money, which is good because I seem to have a lot more of that lately. My #1 rule in troubleshooting is to try the cheapest and easiest thing first, but for some reason that's not what I did in this case. A quick disclaimer, this was in my teenage boy's bathroom and it is filthy, and I apologize for that. It certainly doesn't live up to our cleanliness standard, but if you've ever dealt with teenage boys, you'll understand. I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Delta. They were absolutely phenomenal in this case. I sent their troubleshooting department some emails and told them what was going on, and they promptly sent me both a new cartridge and a handle, which I ended up having to cut off, and I'll show you a quick and easy way to do that. Stick around to the end of the video and you'll see the simple $7 solution that ended up fixing the problem. And if I'd known that ahead of time, I could have had this fixed in 10 or 15 minutes. I was trying to avoid calling a plumber, which I had estimated was going to cost about $300 to fix this problem. In reality, it probably would have just cost me the same amount as a house call, which usually is a couple hours of labor, so maybe $150. But nonetheless, I fixed this for about $7. So let's get started. But before we do that, please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. That really does help me grow this channel. Thank you so much. All right, this is the problem that I'm having. I'm not getting full water diverted to the shower head, and I've already taken that apart, taken that off, and it doesn't matter if the head is on or not. So here goes. You can see barely getting any flow there at all. So I'm going to take this apart because I can't figure it out. I was dealing with the Delta 1400 series shower mixer, and the new valve cartridge and handle part numbers were RP19804 and H79. All right, here's what Delta sent me. They sent me the mixing valve that I need. I just was at Lowe's to get some silicone grease, and that thing was $65, so they sent this for free. And then I told them I was going to have to cut this handle off because this Allen, there's an Allen, you can't really see this hole very well, but there's a Allen key that goes in right here, and that thing stripped on me. So I told Delta that I was going to have to cut this off, which I haven't done yet. I need to do that. But anyway, they sent me the handle for free as well. And then that is the silicone grease that I bought at Lowe's for like $3.50. Supposedly it's a good idea to lubricate all of these different O-rings with it. So that's what I'll do. I'm hoping to be able to get a hacksaw in to a little slot and cut just this brass piece itself. It's not that thick, you can see. So it's not too bad, but that's a big if I can get that hacksaw in there or not. So far, the hacksaw doesn't really want to go down in that little slot. I'm not having any luck. I may try to pry to get the hacksaw down in that slot better. It's not going down nearly far enough to get that little brass piece. I think I'm probably hitting some plastic, so we'll see what happens from here. Well, I am making a little bit of progress. You can see I've got the blade down in there a little farther now, and it's actually down in there just a bit. I'm getting some plastic residue, so I don't think I've hit the metal yet. It feels like a little metal in there, but I don't see any metal shavings. Once I got the saw down in there just a little bit, I was able to bend this a little bit more and open the space up so I can get the saw blade down in there a little bit more, and that's been helpful. So I've been at it probably 3 minutes solid right now. All right, about after another minute of sawing, I was able to wiggle it out of there. There she is. So that's all you're really sawing for, through a little bit of plastic as well. But so far that was a lot easier. I was going to take a angle grinder and cut this handle, but this is heavy duty metal actually. I thought it wouldn't be that heavy duty, but it actually is. So this was by far the easiest way to go to get that handle off. And like I said, they sent me a new handle because this doggone Allen stripped. Well, luckily I was able to cut that with no water leaking. So next up, it's time to turn the water off outside. I'm gonna grab this handy dandy stick that I have to reach down in the hole and turn the water off. And then also I've got one of these picks that I'm gonna use to pull the cover up. If you guys don't have dental picks, these things are some of the best things ever. there. Get down in there, and we can flip this cover over. You can see this is the part I got to get onto down here. Should be pretty easy, just this easy. That should have it turned off. All right, next up I need to remove this and these two screws so I can remove this trim piece. These two screws were much longer than I would have thought. I wish that I had used my drill driver to take those out. Those about wore me out, so FYI, you might want to do that. All right, I put one pipe wrench on this back section here. That way I don't put too much force on the plumbing in the wall. And then I'll be putting the second pipe wrench on this side here to loosen that collar. Luckily that loosened right up and I can just spin this off. Now, this is in there pretty good, so I'm gonna have to set the camera down and work on that to get that out, but you can see it wiggles, so it shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. I was actually able to put a screwdriver blade in there and twist it to sort of work that out of there, and that popped it right out. All right, you probably can't see this, but there's an H for hot. That needs to stay on the left, so as I pull this out, I don't see anything visibly wrong with it. I'll inspect inside of there. I know you can't see very good inside of there probably. All right, here's a better shot of what that looks like inside of there. And it's relatively clean as far as obstructions go for water flow. I'll check that out just a little bit more, but I thought I would see maybe an obstruction in there, so hopefully it was actually in the mixing valve, the issue. We'll see. I'm going to use some of the silicone grease to go around these O-rings. That's what I've read you're supposed to do, so that's what I'll do. All right, I got the new cartridge installed. I went ahead and used a little of that silicone grease on that back. It's not really an O-ring, I don't guess, but these threads here for kind of like anti-seize. And I'll put the cap back on now. Now it's going on much easier than it came off. It came off actually pretty easy. I'll tighten that down and we'll check it out. Unfortunately, replacing that cartridge did not fix it, but I think I may have found it. This little black seal was hanging out of this bottom diverter. So I'm hoping that will fix it. That's found some more stuff on YouTube, so I need to get that put back up in there. And it's pretty easy to do, so let's give that a try. This thing is a lot easier to work on if you take it off. This one simply just unscrews. All right, I got that seal back up into the diverter. There's just the flat sides here, and basically it goes onto this little thing like this, and you have to pry this apart. So I used some needle nose to pry that apart. It was pretty easy. I did have a little bit of help with that though. All right, here's what that thing looks like reassembled again. Just pops right back onto there, no problem. Well, that issue with the diverter was the problem. Here we go. I don't have it all the way back together, but just look at it. I'll show you. They're working now. Yeehaw! Hopefully this will help me take this handle off next time if I have to. I'm going to take some of this Permatex copper anti-seize. I'm going to paint it on those threads inside of there. Probably can't do this on camera. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do that on camera, but I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to back that set screw off, and hopefully it'll suck that anti-seize back up in there and make that a lot easier for next time. All right, I got some of that Permatex down there, backed it out. I actually backed it out all the way farther than I need to. Now I'm going to put some on this side and go back in with it. I finally got success here. Perfection. The solution to the entire problem was this $7 diverter repair kit that I got from Lowe's. I had it installed in about 2 or 3 minutes. You just simply snap your old one out of the bottom, pull the pin out. I replaced everything, fixed it up like a charm. All of that effort for a $7 kit, I just didn't know at the time that that would fix it. So anyway, hopefully this will help some other folks out there. If you found this video useful, please do me a huge favor and like and subscribe. It really does help me grow this channel. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next video.